Hello everyone, and welcome back to more coverage of Grand Prix Rome for the MSEM format. I'm Caillou, and today we're going to be watching the round 1 match between Scribble, who's playing Bant Tempo, versus Pipsqueak, who is also playing Tempo, but they're playing Drug or Temur Tempo. So Bant Tempo is a proven archetype that I believe has definitely won a GP, and I believe has gotten top 8 at another. It's kind of an established archetype now, with Angel of Succor and Bant Command being some of the strong draws to go into Bant. Pipsqueak, however, has a similar shell, but is going into red for some different threats like Ignition Point and some burn like Rogar's Frenzy. And additionally has a slightly different threat suite with these Prodigious Panya, and as we're going to be seeing later, there's a reason that Pipsqueak's deck is named basically Oko Delver, because of the newest addition to the format, 3-mana Tamiyo. So, right now, Pip has a pretty strong opener. You turn 1 threat, and then 2 pieces of cheap counter magic. If Scribble tries to... Scribble can... Pip can play Prodigious Panya here, and he'll get Cursory Glanced. Okay, he's not going to, actually. I guess he's going to wait. But, yeah, now Pip has the mana to be able to... Oh, I was going to say, I thought Pip was going to play a blue land, because then Pip would be able to play Cosmic Sinkhole and play Prodigious Panya. I kind of don't know if I agree with this. And now Veilborn Meddler is very, very, very good in this mirror, because you can counter a lot of your opponent's cheap stuff, essentially for free. Pip's still not playing anything. And just as we say, yeah, Veilborn Meddler across the board. I think the difference here is obviously that Scribble's Veilborn Meddler is much better against these CMC1 cards that Pip's packing. But yeah, I think while it might not exactly be a riveting start to the game, with neither player playing anything, it is showing that both these players have good restraint in terms of their ability to just wait out their opponent's options. And I think that Pip kind of had the initiative until Scribble got down this Monument of Queens, because now every turn that goes by without doing something, Scribble gets a more and more powerful threat. Especially since once you push it past 3 counters, Pip is kind of hard-pressed to remove it. Okay, so in response to Scribble pumping up their Monument of Queens, Pip, while Scribble's tapped out, plays the Prodigious Panya. So not going to get Veilborn Meddlered here. Still, Scribble has some great options here, other than just the Monument of Queens, with 2 pieces of strong counter magic, Planet Far, Far Away if Pip doesn't play anything, to essentially be 2 mana instant to draw 2 in this matchup. Pip has Veilborn Meddlers of her own, but the problem is, again, to pump it up, she'll have to use a Cosmic Sinkhole anyways. So you can maybe win Counter Wars this way, but it does make it harder to just outright counter 1-for-1 with the Veilborn Meddler. So as the stare down continues, Scribble is going to play out a Planet Far, Far Away, and just draw a card there. Pip not going to answer it. Bounty of the Gardens is a good way to put a threat down. Currently, because of the double island, is not going to come down as a full 6, but coming down as a 5/5 is quite good. On end here, Pip is just going to play a Veilborn Meddler as a threat. Already has a huge suite of counter magic backing it up, so no real reason not to start this. Okay, Scribble gonna run out the Cursory Glance. Can Pip actually out-tax the Cursory Glance here? They can tax for up to 4, I think, but they can't actually out-tax the Cursory Glance. So they could play Veilborn Meddler. Instead of out-taxing, they might be thinking Veilborn Meddler number 2, and then in response to its ETB, Cosmic Sinkhole. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. So Scribble's going to let the second Veilborn Meddler... Oh, no. Is Scribble going to let the second Veilborn? Yeah, okay. So, and then going to cast Cosmic Sinkhole, pump up in response to its own ability, counter the Cursory Glance. Veilborn is a really tricky card, but essentially it functions both as a tempo threat, and if you respond to its own ability, you can effectively pump it up and counter larger spells. So actually not going to be running out the Cosmic Sinkhole, going to be running out the Portal Fracture to get those Scout tokens. So Scribble's going to, Veilborn Meddler right back, and then Veilborn Meddler, the first Veilborn Meddler, and then, yeah, okay, it's going to redo. So in this stack, oh man, what a complicated stack war. But ultimately, Scribble draws a card off the planet far, far away, and both players get 2/2 Veilborn Meddlers. What a sequence. But yeah, that's why the planet. And now Scribble is up. And I think the problem is, I guess Pip can keep up 2/3 mana Cosmic Sinkholes, so Children of the Clouds is not as safe as it was, which is a good thing. But if oh no, Pip's gonna is Pip? What is Pip tapping out for? Oh, Prodigious Panya's Tail. Okay, so tails are essentially they use the adventure frame, but they act as one-time spells that you can cast while the creature's on the battlefield. So Panya gets to swing in for 5. Okay, Pip tapping 2. Cane Dancer? I don't know what this could be actually. It was going to Ignition Point, kill the Veilborn, and then swing in for 7. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. And then has Cane Dancer to flashback the Portal Fracture, plus Cosmic Sinkhole for 2. So can kind of try and stymie whatever Scribble does. Scribble has to keep up at least 4 mana to be able to cast a Children of the Clouds. Bounty will probably resolve unheeded though, which is going to be a huge problem for Pip's deck. Because once again, it's large enough that I don't think Pip's removal hits it, and it's big enough to just block out whatever Pip's doing. Okay, Scribble goes to their end, and on end, Pip's going to Cane Dancer, Ignition Point face. This does bring Veilborn up to a 4/4, but I think that this is a little hasty. This means that that Pip doesn't have the mana to... Like, I honestly think that if you're Scribble, you could just go Children of the Clouds X equals 3 here, maybe? No, actually, that's a little bit weak. If Scribble had 1, I think X equals 4 is where it starts to get kind of attractive. But yeah. Oh, wow, Pip's now just going for... Oh, wait, no, does Pip just have lethal? No, okay, Pip can... So Scribble has Bounty of the Gardens plus Children, potentially. Yeah, you're going to start off with the Bounty of the Gardens, and then you probably block and kill the Lumbering Hillock. Pip can Crystal Cavern for Spell Stutter here, but it doesn't really matter. That'll just stop Scribble from having an additional Monument activation. Monument is also another reason that I think that you should keep back the Cane Dancer Ignition Point, but I guess Pip felt that enough waiting around, time to go for the throat. So Scribble eating the Veilborn Meddler, but then taking the Lumbering Hillock on the chin, and then on end is going to Monument of Queens up for 1 more. And again, Scribble is in a little bit of a precarious life situation, but one advantage of going Bant is getting access to Children of the Clouds, which is one of the best instant speed finishers in the format. Now you also know that Pip's only interaction point can be Spell Stutter or Cosmic Sinkhole, so you can play around that fairly simply. Or you can just go, like, I'm going to just play, you have Lumbering Hillock, but I have a way to block that. I'm now going to just Monument of Queens up and swing to your face, especially since Scribble can do it twice, so they can Monument of Queens for as a 5-drop. Oh no, they're not going to. Okay, you're just going to swing in for 6 here. I think that Monument of Queens swinging for 5, go up to 10 is actually probably a better play, but I'm no expert. Maybe the idea is that if you resolve a Children of Clouds, you can just kill. I think you definitely, if you want to do something now, before Pip can like untap. So, and if you didn't Monument of Queens main 1, Scribble better be running out the Children of the Clouds right now. Oh no, Scribble tapped out for the Children of the Clouds, but didn't give enough mana to account for the Spell Stutter, and now is just dead. Oh no, did Scribble completely tap out? Yeah, Scribble completely. At the very least, you have to leave up 1 mana there for the Cosmic Sinkhole. I could see doing that, but not leaving up any mana is just a death wish. Even if it leads to a less effective Children of the Clouds, it means that you don't just die. But yeah, that was a back and forth game, and it's unfortunate it had to end with like a blunder like that, but I think that's kind of just how it goes in these high stakes tempo matchups. It's a lot of slow build up until you get to the boiling point, and then action just starts happening all at once. So yeah, let's look at sideboards quickly, because I think this could be a very sideboard defined matchup. So for Scribble, Egg Bomb is interesting, but I don't think you want this more for aggro. Let's see. Negate is, I think, pretty good here, but it's like, it might... Do you want negate over cursory glance? Probably not, and the rest of your suite is probably good enough anyways. You could swap out some redos for negates maybe. I could definitely see that actually. Stand unassailable. I don't know. Like, I guess it versus Pip's deck, because it has like Rogar's Frenzy and stuff. It's not like 1 or 2 stand unassailable is actually not the worst. I could also see bringing in Worlds Away, just because overwhelming your opponents in cards is kind of a banger in this matchup. Though really, if you have Children of the Clouds or Bounty of the Gardens, you're already probably doing that anyways. But I could see it depending on how Scribble wants to play the matchup. But I think you definitely want to bring in, let's say, 1 to 2 stand unassailable, and then swap out some of the redos for negates. Meanwhile, on Pip's end, let's look at what she's got here. Markarth Assailant is one of the main reasons I think to be in Temur. It's absolutely disgusting because it's a cycling ability, so it's uncounterable by traditional counterspells. I think you definitely bring that in. Still, the Pandemonium also is insane in Counter Wars because it's basically a counterspell that draws you a card. It's like the only reason to run negate over this is if you're worried about mana-based concerns, which is still valid. Especially given, I think if you look at Pip, there are definitely turns where you're like, oh man, I want to cast Still the Pandemonium plus Cosmic Sinkhole, but then doing so will render me, will make it so that I have a less efficient Cosmic Sinkhole because I have to tap a duel that I would otherwise use for the Sinkhole. Stuff like that. This is not a Convert to Resources matchup. Shaldrin's, I don't know that this is Shaldrin's Rage matchup. Shaldrin's Rage is actually probably the only answer to a Resolved Children of the Cloud, so maybe 1 or 2 of those is not a miss. And I think so maybe before the Still the Pandemonium you bring the Spellstutters, but I don't know how Pip wants to play that in terms of split. But you definitely, Still is really good here, Spellstutter is really good here, Markarth is insane as a win con, so you could probably swap out like 2 Rogars for a Markarth, or maybe the Ignition points for Markarth. I could definitely see that. But they also work in conjunction too is the issue. But yeah, I think Pip wants the Markarth Assailants, and 1 Shaldrin's Rage, and then the Still the Pandemonium and Spellstutter depends on how she wants to do the boarding. And it looks like we're a fair bit into game 2 here. Getting on to Scribbl's turn 4, with Pip having already played their second turn, kind of mana screwed here. They do have really good beats with Cane Dancer just getting back more Bounty of the Gardens, but again, these bounties are not going to be growing that big if you don't hit your land drops. They also have Spellstutter here as interaction, but as Scribble gets up on lands, it's going to be less and less effective. Also, Ignition Point and Rogar's Frenzy are not useful here. I don't know what led Pip to this keep, but it feels like it was a little hasty. On end, Pip's going to run out Bounty of the Gardens number 2. I honestly feel like Veilborn Meddler is the better run out here. Not the least of which because Scribble can just negate this. But also, Veilborn Meddler will grow when you play the Bounty of Gardens if you sequence them in the opposite direction, and it also gives you room to find a third land to make this second bounty even more worthwhile. So yeah, I definitely think that I would have gone with the Veilborn Meddler first. Oh, in response, the Sangjin from Scribble? Interesting, I guess wanted to get a threat down. And the bounty is resolving. God, I feel like at the very least you play Veilborn Meddler again for the sequencing reasons. Sangjin does ramp you and can trade with one of the plants. So I guess that's not awful, but I don't know. So yeah, he's going to trade Sangjin with one of the plants, takes 2 more. And Pip did rip a land off the top, and so is now in a much better position here. And with Scribble getting low on life, can start to be okay, Ignition Point is great as a burn spell because it's flashbackable by Cane Dancer. But yeah, you can go the Ignition Point, Rogar's Frenzy, Cane Dancer. Pip has enough burn that even with only 1 more swing of the plant, Pip will eventually have lethal. Of course, this is not accounting for the massive counter magic that Scribble's representing here. Okay, so once again, Scribble just goes to end, and on end, Pip is going to try and Cane Dancer back another bounty. Scribble, I think at this point, Scribble can just Cursory Glance the Cane Dancer and just call it a day. So yep, Cursory Glance came down, and Scribble drawing even more cards because of the planet far, far away. But yeah, despite Scribbl's kind of commanding, I think, presence in this game as a result of Pip missing land drops, I mean, the plant is still around. Pip still has a bunch of burn. This is very winnable for Pip if Scribble doesn't start putting an initiative down. Okay, once again, Scribble just going to be playing a land and passing. Pip going to gleefully seize on that opportunity, is going to Rogar's Frenzy face. So in response, Scribble is going to play Bant Command. Hexproof themselves so that the burn doesn't hurt, and then make 2/2/2s. Pip is then going to use that opportunity to play out the Panya with her last mana. And that swings with the Panya, but this is obviously a much slower clock. And I guess is 1 mana off, though, from being able to Great Escapade, and that's going to really put the hurt in on Scribble. Of course, Scribble still has a whopping 4 pieces of counter magic, and is going to be playing the Bounty of the Gardens. Pip is forced to spell stutter this. So, yeah, otherwise Scribble could, I think, just kill Pip there. But it doesn't matter, because who cares if they counter it? Just rip another one off the top of your deck, forehead. Okay, Scribble is going to swing in with the Knights for 4, have Vigilance so they stick around. On end, Pip is going to exile Rogar's Frenzy, make the Elemental tokens. Trying to put together some sort of win here. Cane Dancer plus Ignition Point is, again, really good here in terms of burn. The problem is, of course, that Scribble is representing literally 4 pieces of counter magic plus a chump blocker. And yep, on Pip's end, Scribble just going to rip the Bounty of the Gardens. Why not? And again, even if this gets countered, like, the thing is, Pip can try countering this. Then Scribble can negate. Pip tries countering it again, then redo. Yeah, okay, and Scribble's just going to go for broke. It's going to try and Cane Dancer back the Bounty of the Gardens, I'm assuming. Put 14 powers worth of creatures onto the battlefield. Sounds pretty not bad. I'm wondering why... Yeah, I feel like Pip should have... Okay, Pip is going to Ignition Point face, but I guess this is to bait... I actually don't know what this could be for. I think the idea is this is like putting... Okay, so Scribble's going to redo the Ignition Point. I guess the idea was that it was a trap, that if Scribble didn't counter the first Ignition Point, Pip could put Scribble down to 1, at which point Pip could chump double plant, take 5, on the return hit with Prodigious Panya for 1. Now, however, needs some other form of reach, really. But I think the thing is, like, Scribble can just swing with everything because the Knights have Vigilance. Also, Worlds Away was boarded in and is, again, just insane in this matchup. So the Rogar's tokens are gonna block the plant because they have to. And then one of the plants is gonna trade. And sorry, not one. Yeah, the plant is gonna trade. Yeah, Pip's only out here really is land, Prodigious Panya, Great Escapade. The problem is Scribble has a negate for that because it's not an ability, it is an actual factual spell and therefore can be interacted with on the stack. So Pip did rip the land, is just going to go for the Great Escapade. But yeah, the negate from Scribble, and that's just game. So we're going to game 3 here. These have been some really tense games so far, so I'm excited to see how, like, Pip made that one extremely close, despite missing, missing 2 or 3 land drops in the midst of it. And it really showed that, like, hey, if you don't represent life gain, I can just burn you to death. Meanwhile, Scribble just played this, like, Scribble was definitely the control in this matchup, had so much interaction and card advantage that it just overwhelmed Pip's deck. Of course, both of these decks can play either as the beatdown or the control, depending on the draw, but obviously having burn helps you be the beatdown. Okay, so looking at these opening hands, it's been good commentating the set. It's been really great. Congratulations to Pip for winning this whole set. And the reason I'm saying this is Scribble does not have a single blue source, and they can't cast a single one of their cards, which is unfortunate because of the multiply. But yeah, this is looking so over. Oh no, not another double blue card. Meanwhile, Pip, I think you just, like, Scribble's not representing blue mana. You just windmill slam Tamiyo here, and Tamiyo just carries you to victory emphatically. Like, no contest. I like as we've seen, Scribbl's deck is the slow deck. It doesn't put up pressure that early, and so without pressure to kill Tamio, like this is just curtains. Like needs a Bounty of the Gardens, but before the Bounty of the Gardens needs actual lands. So yeah, Pip's just gonna +1 and then untap the Lush Oasis to have access to Spell Stutter and Cosmic Sinkhole. Oh no, and another Cane Dancer for Scribble. No blue sources in sight. Like I know this was a multi-5, but I really think if you see this opener, you take the multi-4. If you can't cast any of your cards, there's no point in keeping that hand. Okay, gonna Tamio +1, float a green. Not sure what this is for. Pay 3. Oh, are they just gonna cast? They're casting Markheart the Assailant. Oh wow. I mean, it makes sense. It's an actual clock, but it's just that you usually never see this card get cast. And when I say, I mean like never. Well, Scribble hit a land, but it's not a blue source. Oh no, this is not how you want. Like I was just talking about how good the set was going, and then this. You absolutely hate to see it. This is not how you want this set to end. Oh god, and Markheart the Assailant number 2. I mean, okay, Pip is gonna -2 to draw 3, discard 1 right here. Ugh, Bounty also quite a haymaker. Pip can, yeah, so use, no, whoa, okay, actually, my thought was that you can cast Markheart here, still hold up Bounty mana, and then be chilling. And yeah, no, Scribble has not hit a blue source. No. On end, Pip's gonna Bounty of the Gardens for 5. So then this deals 8 damage, and then the remaining 5 to kill, you just cycle the Markheart. Or is that 1 off? That might actually be 1 off. Yeah, that's 1 off, huh? Crazy. Still, okay, so Pip's gonna dig for burn. Doesn't really need it here because now has double Cane Dancer for the Bounty. Yeah, Scribble is just so dead. Oh no. And this is the definition of a heartbreaker. So, oh no, wait, Pip got another land. It doesn't even matter. Markheart just takes it this turn. That's what Pip was digging for with the Tamio to get that 6th land. I didn't even realize. Oh man. But what a way to end that set. And after such a good back and forth, Scribble has one of the saddest openers I've ever seen. And Pip absolutely capitalizes and takes game 3 to win the set 2-1. But yeah, that was unfortunate because it was really good play from both players. So I'm hoping that like later in the tournament we can see more of Scribble, because I think this is also their first MSEM GP, if I'm not mistaken. And they're putting on like a really good performance. So, which is like in a new format, it's daunting. So, and you're playing against a new deck in navigating a matchup that has literally never existed before. So it's not like there's resources for it. So. Kudos to them, and obviously kudos to Pip, who was similarly, similarly vigilant in how they navigated the matchup. You could see from her slow and calculated play. But yeah, with that, I'm going to be ending my commentary for this match. Until next time, this is Caillou signing off.